Give y'all a second to get in here. Just played a couple songs while we pass the time, man, to get the show ready. Let you guys listen to something real quick. Tell me what y'all think, man. One of my boys um, sent me a beat, man. I want y'all to honestly tell me what y'all think about it. I love it, man. I'm gonna use it. I played it the other day. See if you guys can hear it. Let me see. See if I can let y'all hear it, man. I've been having so many people bless me, man, with just wanting to help be a part of something bigger. I'm grateful for it. If I can find it. All right, here we go. See if you guys can hear that. I gotta get some more better sound to it. Anyway, I'll let you guys listen to it. You can tell me what you think about it. Before we get off into the meat and potatoes of the show, a couple of things I want to get into first. Um, Hang on one second. A few things I want to get into first. First off, um, I'm wearing the Ego shirt. Ego, EGO. Everybody got one. My brother, man, Ride or Die Day One, has a clothing line. It's called Ego. So that's what I'm rocking today. It's an Ego t-shirt, V-neck. I love the V-neck. Anybody knows anything about me knows I love the V-neck. Um, Charleston White, man, we can get into today's tea real quick before I get into the topic. I saw something. Charleston White did a YouTube thing. It was called 20 versus 1, where a guy paid him to come on his YouTube channel and basically pick 5 women out of 20 that that he liked, and ultimately sift through and then end up with one woman. And so the show was hilarious, man. It was out of control. Show took a bad turn when one of the women invited a gay guy onto the stage. And so when this gay guy comes onto the stage, Charleston White explodes, goes off, walks off the stage and says, "I don't do punks, faggots, none of that." And the contract is the agreement is void. And then says to the guy, "Give me the back end of my money." So the young guy, it's a guy by the name of Unghetto, right? He said, you guys can go back and watch it later. He says, "I'm not paying you anything." And so Charleston White proceeds to leave the place. They go back and forth, back and forth. Charleston White gets in his car and drives off. And so after which, there was a discussion going on about, inside whether or not the guy was at fault or should he had let this person come on stage and this and that and the third. And so the guy posted a video. His name is Unghetto. Posted a video saying, "I didn't have anything to do with the person coming on stage. Had nothing to do with it. I didn't set it up. I ain't know anything about this person walking on the stage." And so Charleston White took it like, "Hey man, what kind of shit you set me up? I told you I didn't do gay people and all that." And he literally just left the scene. And so the guy put a video out, just was really going and showing the contract and never said, in the contract that, that you signed, Charleston White signed, that it had to be um, that it had to be a specific demographic, so to speak. So, nevertheless, the guy ended up paying the rest of the money to the people who set it up because he didn't want them to take the loss. So that was just something that was really weird to me. Charleston White is a guy who is a dynamic public figure who is extremely explosive when put in front of a camera. He's explosive. Anytime you get him in front of a camera, there's no telling what he might say. And if you go back and watch that YouTube show, 20, it's called 20 versus 1, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So with that being said, tonight's show, man, is a show simply entitled Abortion. We're gonna really get into it, into the laws, what's legal, what's not legal, how you feel about it, how I feel about it. I know abortion is a very touchy subject. It's a very sensitive topic for anybody, man, who has either been through it, who's had to deal with it, who has been affected by it in any way. I know it's tough. And so my daughter, Raquel, actually brought the topic to me and asked me to discuss it, have it on the forum and discuss it. And so here we are with it. I spoke to a bunch of people, and a few people were like, bruh, man, you sure you want to get into this? I'm like, hey, man, we here. This is what we do. Our forum, you guys will hear me say quite frequent, is not solely based for me. This is a platform for anybody who I say us regular people, because we're not celebrities and we're not $1 million people. We're regular people. So this forum is for us regular people, and so I know the subject is touchy. I know it's gonna strike nerves, and it's gonna probably rub some people the wrong way. I get it, but I've also learned. You're right, Joe. I see your comment. Real smart dude. He was wrong. I see your comment. Charleston White is a guy who has mastered the art of getting the bag in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. His content has no limits to it, and so when you have that kind of content, you can do pretty much whatever you want to do. And so getting off into the show, the topic, abortion. There's a few questions that I wrote down that I'll ask you guys in here in a minute. But just to basically just touch in it, I can objectively comment on the subject because I've been involved in the subject on more than one occasion. It's a subject that is extremely personal due to the fact that I've been in a situation where somebody that I was dating or somebody that I was with actually had an abortion, and at the time, I think I said on the show a couple about 4 or 5 episodes back, I really felt like we really felt like at the time that was the right decision. It was the right thing to do. Obviously, you never know, at that particular moment what the ramifications are when you make a decision like that. But that was a decision we made, and we since have talked about that decision, and there is some regret in that decision. Now, on the other hand, I have my youngest daughter, who is now a freshman in college, was supposed to be aborted. A lot of you guys don't know, or, won't even know that story, but my youngest daughter was supposed to be aborted. I remember having a conversation with her mom vividly. and I was at that time I was in a relationship, and um, this happened. This happened, and her mom became pregnant. And I remember having a conversation saying, "Hey, man, you can't have this baby." And I remember giving her $500, and her telling me, "Fine," And I left, and to come back, I didn't see her for maybe another 2 months. I came back about 2 months later to only realize she was still pregnant. And very adamantly, she told me, "I'm not having an abortion." I said, "Well, where's my $500?" She said, "Well, I spent it, but I'm not having an abortion." And I can sit now um, and say, I'm so happy that she didn't follow through with that abortion. I'm so happy that she decided not to listen to me, and she actually had that baby, which is Alexandra, my youngest daughter. Um, so being that I've been on both sides of that spectrum, it's very difficult um, when you look at now, and we're gonna get into the laws and things of that nature. When you look at now, putting um, women and children in a situation that is a tough situation, right? And so I already said, I would like to have two guests on the show. If anybody wants to join the show, send me an invite. I'll patch you in. Um, but I think now it's illegal. As far as I know, it's illegal to have an abortion in the state of Texas. I know they have, unless let me see. I wrote it down so I don't get off track. But just so I'm not saying things just off the wind, but the abortion law says it's illegal in Texas except in cases where the life of the mother is at risk. It says currently a woman cannot legally or criminally nor civilly be held responsible for obtaining abortion drugs. Says abortions are banned in Texas. The Supreme Court ruled that each state can set their own abortion law. Also says that a woman cannot be prosecuted, but anybody who aids or assists this woman in having an abortion can face prosecution. So, there is a pill that you can purchase. Um, I wouldn't know where to get it, but there's a pill. Now, first question to you guys is: are you for or against abortions? That's the first question. Um, are you for or against a woman having an abortion? Now, let me write this down while it's on my mind, so I don't lose track, because this is important. Now, um, once you ask that question, the next question that I have is, who has the right to have an abortion? Because the law, obviously, I just read the law, and the law says a woman can't be prosecuted unless her life is in danger. So the reason why I said who's entitled to have an abortion, because you will have women who whose life is not in danger, who's out here recklessly having sex and having kids and just don't want the baby and want to have an abortion. Is that okay? On the other hand, you'll have a situation where women are raped, abused, um, in a volatile situation, and is that okay? So those are the questions those two questions right off that I pose. Comment from Cotton Candy Dupree: I'm not for it, but anybody have the right. So you don't agree with abortion, but you wouldn't stand in the way of anybody who wanted to have one, if I'm understanding the comment correctly. Um, and I can tell you, being that I've been, like I said, on both sides of that, it's tough, man, for me to objectively say that I'm against it, and or for it, because as I said, my daughter was supposed to be aborted, and had that happened, I wouldn't have the daughter that I have now. So looking at that in hindsight, um, of course, I can only speak for me, but I would think anybody, it's hard to see a life or have a life for me, and not want to be a part of that life. That's tough. You know what I mean? That's tough. But I do understand different situations cause for different things to take place. I get it. Now, the last question that I want to ask, and I gave you guys these three questions. I want you to think about these questions throughout the course of the show, and you can give me your answers as we go along. Um, Monique says, I feel this is a choice that should not be taken away from any woman. Let's see what the rest of this says. I'm not against it or for it. We don't know each other's struggles or situations, period. I agree. Now, since you put that comment, my last question was going to be, does the father have a say? Um, I think so many times, and I'm a father, so I'm speaking objectively for fathers, but I think so many times the man, the father, is taken out of the equation almost instantly, because I think the woman feels, as you said, it's my body. It's my body, so I should be able to make whatever decision I want to make with it, um, because it's my body. And I think to some degree that is 100% accurate. But I think when you have a man who is involved, I'm talking about a man who wants to be a part of this equation, not somebody just a fly by night you know nothing about, um, or you just met on a whim or a one night stand or something like that. But a man who desperately wants a family or is looking for a family, I think he should have a say. I don't think that decision should solely rest um, on the mother. That's just me. I mean, I know it's her body, but it took two people to create that being. So I think he should have some kind of input. Even if she doesn't listen, I think he should have a voice um, in that scenario, so to speak. I don't think, more oftentimes than not, I think he's automatically taken out of the equation off the bat. I think as soon as that decision is made, he's no longer, his voice is not even something that wants to be listened to, because as I said, a woman feels like it's my body. So if it's my body, I should be able to do what I want to do with my body. And so Monique says, yes, dad should definitely have a say. Yeah, I just don't think for the most part, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I just don't think for the most part that they do. And so that's why I said that. It's incredibly um, mind blowing when we look at how the laws have created so much or so many hurdles for women. You know what I mean? Like the law has been put in place and it's been implemented. So now you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. This is not legal. And I think the reality is, anybody, no matter how we feel about it, anybody should be able to make a conscious decision as an adult on how they want to live their lives. Now, obviously, if you can't make rational decisions, then maybe you shouldn't be able to make them. But if you're of sound mind, you should be able to make those kind of decisions. Um, I'm a firm believer of no child, and I can only say this because, as I said, my daughter was supposed to be aborted, and that was just due to my selfishness and not wanting to lose the relationship that I was in. But no child should have to come into the world um, unloved, abandoned, mistreated. Um, no child should have to go through that. So I think as much as it pains me to say, hey man, you laid down with that man, you had that baby. That's not the baby's fault. Some people are not fit to be mothers. That's just like some dudes are not fit to be fathers. Some women are not fit to be mothers, and I think it's shameful that you could know you don't want to be a mom. You could know you're not fit to be a mom. You could know you would never do right by a child, yet have one. I think that's the ultimate sign of a person just being just totally selfish. I think if you know you're incapable of caring for a child, why have one? Why not protect yourself and put yourself in a position to where you wouldn't have to go through these type of things. I did a lot of things in my younger years. Obviously, I have 6 kids. I have 2 sons around the same age, and in a lot of these situations, I've been in them for real, for real. And the one thing that I can honestly say is I never neglected my children. I never made any excuses um, for the situations. You know what I mean? When I found out she was gonna keep this baby, I came out with the truth. Hey man, listen, I'm having a baby with this girl, um, and that ended my relationship. But that was something that was necessary as a father to be a father to this child. And so, in that regard, when we talk, abortion is a very sensitive topic, but I just don't think anybody should be able to be able to get away with just being reckless. Um, I think if you feel like you can't care for this baby and you laid down there and had this baby, created this child, you should go through 9 months of pain. You should go through the process of having this child. If you don't want to keep the child, then you can give the child up for adoption. That's just my take on it. I think you should feel something. If you just lay down knowing damn well, your intentions was not to be a mama, you ought to feel the pain. You ought to feel the repercussions of doing this. You know what I'm saying? And then once you have the baby or however it go, you can turn the baby over to the state. The state can find this child a suitable family to care for them, uh, for throughout the remainder of their life. But I don't think you should just be able to just kill this child just because you just don't want them. You know what I mean? That's just, to me, that just seems so unfair uh, to the child that's being conceived. And so many times this has been the case. This has happened. This has happened. Reckless behavior has caused uh, some beautiful, beautiful children. I can tell you for one, reckless behavior has brought some of the most beautiful children on into the world. Um, and we have lost some beautiful children who could have been, a part of the world and were not. So I just it's hard, man, to really just say, yeah, you know, that's hard, man. That's hard, and I know. Um, I think for the most part, I can only speak from a male perspective. Dads get the short end of the decision making process when it comes to um, abortions. I think dads may have a 5% interest in that. You know what I mean? Like you only considering him for 5% of the process. You're not considering how that will affect him. Cause listen, like I said before, I've been a part of it. We agreed to have an abortion, and though we never had a conversation about it right after, it took many, 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 many years later for us to have that conversation. When we had that conversation, the both of us regretted that decision. The both of us were like, we shouldn't have done that. We never should have did that. Um, but again, we made a decision that we felt at that time was the best decision. You know what I mean? And so you can't. That thing about that is you cannot go back and undo it. If you have a child and you give a child up for adoption, you can. I don't know if you can go back and undo the adoption part, but you can probably still see that child. You still know that child is alive somewhere in living. Um, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. It's just hard, man. It's just hard. So let's see who we have. Uh, let's see. It's just tough, man, to just objectively say I would do this or I would do that, knowing um, the ramifications of it. You know what I mean? I think more oftentimes than not, people make decisions um, based on what somebody else is gonna say or how somebody else is gonna feel. You know what I mean? Like you get pregnant with it. You get pregnant through an affair or something like that, or you get pregnant um, through something that probably shouldn't have happened, and then you end up um, pregnant, and you don't want nobody to know, right? And so that's a situation where you start thinking, well, man, um, what do I do? How do I take this or how do I do this? And so it's one of them things, man. I just don't. Uh, I'm sending invites, so if you guys see an invite for me and you want to join, you're welcome to join. Just sending invites, random invites to you guys if you want to jump on real quick. Um, and so yeah, so that's my take on it. So question, I gave you guys 3 questions. I only saw one person give me an answer to those questions, and so I know abortion is a hot topic. I know it's a subject that's extremely sensitive. Um, and I know some of you may not want to express exactly how you feel about it live on Facebook, but this is what we here for. You know what I'm saying? If you know, of course I'm not gonna ask you if you've ever had one or if you've ever been involved in one that's personal. That's up to you. If you want to express that, but if you know somebody who's been through it, what was the advice that you gave them? Because I'm sure, you know, there's conversations had when somebody's contemplating abortion. Somebody's asking, "Hey, what do you think I should do? Um, you know, do you think it's a good idea? Stuff like that." So, um, what was your conversation when it came to you, if it came to you, if somebody came to you with it? Most times when a person is contemplating, like I said earlier, when a person is thinking about having an abortion or contemplating an abortion, it's something that's going on that probably shouldn't be going on, right? And the child is the only person who suffers in that equation because you get to walk away free. The man gets to walk away free, and the child disappears. So who really suffers in that equation? You know what I mean? And so that's why I think there should be some ramification behind it. You should be made to carry that child to term if you did something you ain't had no business doing. For real. I think there should be some type of stipulation to where if you just out here, you know, doing some stuff you ain't got no business doing, you ought to be at least made to carry the term. Um, so just so you can feel the kicking, you know, the pain and this. And you know what? The thing is, I don't know this to be, you know, a fact because I'm not a woman, so I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure if you carry a child 6 months, seven, I've never had a child, but I'm almost sure maybe some of you moms can help me out. If you carry a child to term, if you go through a full term, a 9 month pregnancy, don't that do something to you? Don't that change some stuff? Don't that change your way of thinking or your feelings or your emotions? Are you attached? I don't think it would be as easy for you to walk away from a child that you've grown attached to for 9 months. I could be wrong. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you think? Is it easy after you've carried a child to term to just be able to say, yeah, I don't want none? Or is there some type of attachment or a bond that you form after you've carried a child to term? And does it take full term? How long does it take before you start to grow um, a bond with the child? Does it take a full term for that to happen, or does it happen in a 2 or 3 month, 2 or 3 month span, or 6 months, and you know what I mean, or something like that? I'm anxious to know that. I'm curious to know um, how that works. I know for me, um, I had no intention on. Can't hear. Let's see. Can you hear me? Let's see. Let's see if I can turn the volume up a little bit. Let's see. How about now? Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Am I clear now or no? How about now? Yes? Somebody let me know if you can hear me now. I'm adjusting the sound. What about now? Can you hear me now? Yes? No? Maybe so? How about now? Let's see. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Let's see. Let's see. Can you hear me now? How about now? How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Yes? Can you hear me? I ain't gonna know if y'all don't say nothing. Okay, cool. So what I was saying, thank you for that. What I was saying was, um, how long does it take you to create a bond with the child once you've carried it? Do you create a bond in 2 months, 3 months? Does it take full term? Because I'm sure if you carry a child full term, something happens to where you just can't just up and just want to get. I would think something would happen that you wouldn't want to just get rid of a child, which that's what I was saying. I think um, I remember my oldest son, my first child. His mom was pregnant, and I was locked up. I had no intention on being with her when I got out of jail. I had no plans on us being in a relationship. None. I didn't want to see her. I didn't want to have anything to do with her. And my mother forced me to go over there. And so I went, and as soon as she walked to the door with that big stomach, and I put my hand on the stomach and the baby was kicking, I stayed. I never left. I was there, the next 2, 3, 4 years or so. So I know that movement or something that happens in there can do something to you here and here. So that's why I say you should be, if you out here just feeling around, you should be made to carry that baby to term, just so you can go through the kicks, the bumps, the pains, the contractions, the appetite changes. You should be able to. You should be made rather, um, to go through those things. So you know what I mean. You have some type of repercussions for your actions if you out here just recklessly doing stuff with no intentions on doing the right thing. So that's how I see it. Um, See, Monique has a comment. If a dad is interested in being involved, yes. However, a guy subjecting her to be a single mom, abortion should be her choice. Oh man, that's yeah. Um, man, you know what? I can't really comment on that part of it. Um, yeah, I can't really get off into the single mom part, because I mean, realistically, let's be honest, man. Again, I don't have numbers and percentages in front of me to be exact, but single moms are everywhere. I think um, you don't have to start out a single mom to become one, if that makes sense. Like they may have been together and had the baby and been together the first 2 or 3 years, first three birthday parties, and then divorced or split or went their separate ways. And that mom is now, um, there with the child. Now, I never, I don't want to get off track, but the term single mom is so broad. Like that term single mom, that's so broad. I think single mom to me means you're a mom taking care of your children without the help of the dad. That's what a single mom is to me. If the dad is not, if the dad's not around, the dad's not playing a part, the dad doesn't have a role, the dad's not supporting financially, the dad's not there, uh, showing up to games or getting the kid on the weekend, and the dad's completely out of the picture, you are definitely a single mom, 1,000%. But I think if the dad is active, you are not a single mom. I think if the dad is playing a significant role, his role being a dad, you're not a single mom because you have help. I think it would be the same case, if the dad was the custodial parent, and you were, and the woman was getting visitations. I think it'd be the same thing as long as the mom is playing her role, and she's active in that child's life. He's not a single dad because his mom is there too. They're making decisions equally. They're going to graduations and basketball games and football games. And they may not be civil or they may not be speaking to one another, but they're both active. The principal calls and both parents show up. That you're not a single parent. You know what I mean? Like you're a single parent if it's just you. There's no help outside of what you're providing. Absolutely, you're a single parent. And so that's why it's the single parent term gets thrown around so much. But I think, I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough. All of it's tough. I just think you a dad, and I know I keep harping on it, man, but dads get a bad rap. Like I'm serious, man. Dads sometimes don't get. And I ain't just saying that because it's me, because I don't really get a bad rap. I don't. I've never really gotten a bad rap for that. I just think overall you have some dads who actually love being dads. You have some dads who really, even when the situations at home aren't going well, they're still dad, right? They just, you know what I mean. So I think they just don't get their fair shake all the time. You know, if that makes sense. And I know, we can talk about, dudes do some crazy stuff. Women do too. There's some deadbeat moms for sure. Y'all probably know some of them. Not none of y'all are deadbeat moms. I'm saying y'all probably know some. You probably are familiar with some. And so I just think that abortion, man. It's a dad. First of all, a dad in a having a conversation as a dad with a woman you got pregnant, and you're saying, let's look at both sides. As a dad, you're saying, I don't think you should have this baby, right? And the woman saying, what? What you mean? This my body. This my baby. Right? So this is one side of it. See, we didn't even get into this side, but this is the reverse coin where the dad doesn't want the baby. And the woman says, so I don't care what you want. This is my body. Right? So now you have the woman who is making a decision saying, oh well, you don't want the baby, fine. I'm gonna have the baby, I'm gonna keep the baby, you gonna know about your business. You don't have to have nothing to do with me or the baby. Disappear, fool. Right? So now you have, which I 100% agree with that. So and again, the other side of that is you have a woman who's saying, I don't want no baby. I don't want to have no kid with you. You ain't daddy material. And the guy saying, hey man, wait a minute. Hey, wait. This this my child too. Don't I got some kind of say in it? You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to have the baby, fine. Have the baby and give it to me. Don't kill the baby. Just go to term, have the baby, and I'll take you sign your rights over, and I'll keep the baby, and you go about your business, and you don't have to worry about it. But don't, just because you don't like me and you mad at me, don't kill my baby because you don't like me. Make sense? So it's a two-sided thing. I think a lot of times as a man, we don't really get that. Well, I should consider his feelings. He is the daddy, We don't really get that. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be a rare scenario for a woman to say, he is a good dude. I guess I will just keep the baby and give it to him. What? I don't even think I've ever heard of that happening. Matter of fact, I don't think I don't believe any of my friends have ever experienced that. None. If they did, I don't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think ideally, that would be what you would want if you're in a situation like that, and this woman don't want to have no baby with you. Ideally, you would be like, hey, you know what? That's cool. That's cool. Just give me the baby. I'll keep the baby. You going on. I'll do it. I'll do everything on my own. I don't need you. Going on about your business. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up with the child. She's gone, and as luck would have it, you end up finding somebody that's going to accept you with a child. That's going to be a role model and a real mother to the child. So that's happened a bunch of times, way more than we probably care to admit. But yeah, it's crazy, man, how the law can prevent you from just being human. You know what I mean? Like from just being able to make moves that you feel like you want to make that's in the best interest of you. You know what I'm saying? So um, I just I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not easy. You know, being a parent in this millennial, but I think um, if each of us who are parents were to look back now at how our children are right now, currently, um, we're happy. We're happy with where we are. We're happy with our decisions. And listen, we all, I mean, our children ain't perfect. They don't always make the best decisions. They don't always listen to everything we say. They don't always um, follow our instruction. But we wouldn't have it any other way. I don't think we would want to change the script to where they were not here. Is what I'm saying. Um, I'm extremely proud to say I'm somebody's father, I'm somebody's dad, I'm somebody's pops, I'm somebody's grandpa. I'm man, that's probably one of the best feelings you could have as a man. You know what I mean? Like you, man. I mean, if you are a father, if you are a real father who is active, who is there, who has been hands on, who has um, who's been available, accessible, that's a hell of a feeling, you know, to have, to be able to say, you to hear your kids say, "That's my dad. That's my dad." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all really understand how important just those few words mean, right? That's my dad. I'm gonna call my dad. I want to talk to my dad. Man, what? No man of no father should ever take that for granted. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because, and I'm not being biased or anything like that, but moms always get the credit. Moms always get the credit. Man, always. Moms, man, let me tell you something. Moms are always gonna get the credit. I don't care what happens, what goes on, mama is gonna always get credit. Always. Period. Point blank. She gonna always get it. Mom gonna get the best shit for her birthday. Mom gonna get the best shit for Mother's Day. Mom is gonna they gonna get it. They gonna get the love that they gonna get regardless, because why? They brought you into the world. They birthed you. They carried you 9 months. They tell you all this when the story is revealed. You gotta hear all this. I carried you 9 months. I went through this many hours and I did this and I did that and woo. So they gonna make sure they get they just do. They gonna get it. They gonna get it. But guess what? They didn't have you by themselves. Something, even if it was done artificially, something else had to be involved for you to be conceived. You know what I mean? So I really I don't take for granted, I don't take lightly that I'm a father, that I'm a dad, because I hear so many kids, so many children say, "I don't fuck with my daddy. I don't fool with that nigga. I don't talk to my dad. I don't even know who my dad is. Ain't my daddy." You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I'm just understand what I'm telling you. This ain't nothing made up. I'm speaking facts right now. This ain't made up. You know how many children don't even know who their daddy is? Don't want to know who their daddy is? Could care less. Could care less because their mamas done already told, man, they don't even call them. Don't call them on the birthday. Don't call them on nothing. Don't want to talk to them. Don't want to see them. Period. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take for granted any of that, man. I don't. I appreciate all of that. It means everything to me to be able to take a phone call when one of my kids call. That means everything to me. You know, even if I'm fussing at them, it still means something to be able to when my kids call, be able to say, "Hey, what's up? Everything cool?" And hear them say, "Daddy, guess what?" Or "Daddy, man, don't nothing beat that conversation. Don't nothing in the world beat that conversation for me." You know what I'm saying? So I don't take fatherhood lightly. I don't take um, being in a position to uh, have a voice in their lives. I don't take that lightly either. I think obviously, like I said, um, the women are gonna get their credit. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get their just due every time. They not gonna go without. They're gonna get it. So I just think more dads should get theirs. So abortion is a topic, man. Is a subject that is extremely sensitive to a lot of people. Um, it's near and dear to a bunch of people's heart. You know what I mean? And so I just think when me and my daughter was talking about this topic, she was like, "Dad," I was like, "Hey, man, look, man, this is not just something we just talk about. You know what I'm saying?" But being again, like I said, being that I've been involved in this situation before, I just felt it was something that I was going to be able to handle objectively. I was going to be able to speak on, um, and just give my honest take on. Um, I would never ever want to be a person who judged anybody for making whatever decisions they thought were best for them. I would never want to be that person. Um, Although we do it, we do it. You know what I mean? We say I'm not. I don't judge people. I wouldn't want to judge people, but the reality is we do it. We do it all the time. We see people who don't look like we think they should look, and we pass judgment. We see people say things we don't think they should say, and we pass a judgment. We see people who move how we don't think they should move, and we pass judgment. We do this every day. This is what we do as human beings. You know what I mean? So I think at some point we have to come to the reality and start understanding that, guess what? You don't know anybody's situation if you have not been in it yourself. If you have not experienced it for yourself, you cannot objectively speak on the situation. And a lot of times, the people who are passing judgment on these situations, they've never experienced it. They've never been in it. You can't tell a person. I would never sit here and tell a person you should not get an abortion, and somebody's been hitting you upside your head and slanging you across the room, and your life with them has been a living hell, and they treated you like garbage for 5 years, and you get pregnant. I would never tell you to bring a baby into that volatile environment. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? I would want you to keep the baby, because the baby has no say. But I wouldn't be mad at you or judge you for not wanting to um, produce a child with a person whose behavior is volatile as that. And so, again, situations are tricky for everybody. Situations are different for everybody. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we as adults, it is our job to make decisions that we feel that are best, not just for us, but for our children too. That includes our unborn children as well. Um, yeah, you'll have people that'll say, "Oh man, just leave them, had a baby, go in, leave them, call the police, press charges, whatever." You'll have somebody that'll be molested and abused or raped, and you'll have people saying, "Oh man, keep the baby. Something beautiful may come from it. It may be something beautiful may come from it. You know what I'm saying? But something beautiful may not come from something such as an event as traumatic as that. So, all those things have to be considered when making those kind of decisions. I just think it's tough either way. I don't think it's ever going to be easy for anybody to say, "Yeah, let's do it," or "No, let's do it," unless you just absolutely have no heart. And there are some people out here that don't have any. that don't have one. You know, that's the reality. You have some heartless people. You have some people who, you know, not to get off, but I gotta say this. I was in Popeyes one day, ordering some food. Me and my son was in Popeyes one day ordering some food. I don't. He probably don't remember this. And that was a young girl. She may have been early 20s, 22, 23, somewhere around there. She had about 5 kids in the Popeyes. And the whole time she was in this Popeyes, she was cussing these kids out. I mean, not regular cuss words like hell and damn. I mean, she was cussing these kids out. You sit your MFA down and you, I mean, words I can say, but I'm not going to get off into, say all the dialogue. She was just going all the way in. You're not, no, you going to get this and we going to get this. You going to get what I say and we ain't got no money for that. And I mean, it was just, for about 15 minutes. She was just going in. People behind the counter was like, what? And I'm the kind of person, even though I know how to mind my business, some stuff I just can't keep in. Like some stuff if it just get too belligerent, I'm just like, hey man. And so I said, excuse me, just let them order whatever they want. I got it. No, then I said, just please. And so they ordered and everything, and I pulled her to the side and I said, listen, I know I'm probably out of line. It's not my place to say anything to you, but it's not healthy, man, to talk to your kids like that. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for them, and it's not healthy for you. In the long run, it's gonna hurt everybody, man. Everybody. It's not a good look. That lady looked at me and called me all kind of names, cussed me out. She took my money, for the chicken, but called me all kind of names, cussed me out, and I felt bad for those kids. I really did. I didn't feel bad for her. I felt bad for those kids. But the reality is, this happens all the time. This happens all the time. Kids are being talked to like they ain't nothing all the time. Kids are being treated like they ain't nothing all the time. All the time. We don't see it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I saw that, but I mean, it's not something we see because we're not in that situation, but this happens all the time. Kids are being disrespected, slapped around, pushed around, man, all the time. It happens all the time. So to not want a child to grow up in that environment and be around that, I can understand. I can understand. You know what I mean? So I just, man, this is a difficult subject, man. It is. It's a difficult subject. I just want to say this. I'm thankful that my daughter's mom took my $500 and bought whatever it is she gonna buy and decided to keep my baby. Alexandra's 19 years old. She's a freshman in college, and I am extremely excited and happy to say I'm her dad. Means nothing in the world could have prepared me for the life that child has lived and shown me in 19 years. So, yeah, means everything to me. Listen, it's customary, man, every time I close my show is to thank my viewers, to thank the people who actually show love and show support, who continue to motivate me to keep going, who push me to be better every day. You guys are the greatest, man. You guys rock. I mean that. My grandma used to always tell me, man, for every one person who wants to see you fail, there's always two people who won't let you. I used to say it all the time, but it always comes back. You always gonna have people who want to see you fail. There's always gonna be people who want to see you fall on your face. There's always gonna be people who are going to speak negative about you, or people who are naysayers. You're gonna have that. That's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. but you're also going to have people who are going to encourage you. You're also going to have people who are going to push you. We talk about haters all the time, and the funny thing about haters is many people always say people are hating on them, and people are not really hating on them. People are just being who they are. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the energy, good and bad. I do. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate it all. I'm thankful for it. Again, I'm wearing a shirt, Ego shirt. Everybody got one. My boy, his name is AB Senior on Facebook. His name is Aubrey Brent. It's his clothing line. If you guys would like to support, you want to buy a T-shirt, you can inbox me, or I will forward you, and where I can forward you his information, and you guys can get you a T-shirt. He has T-shirts, hoodies, hats, I think socks, all kind of stuff, man. That's available for purchase if you want to purchase. As is customary, you guys have been wonderful, 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 wonderful. And until next time, stay humble and hustle hard daily.